Welcome to part 2 of this tutorial, NFS Most Wanted Blacklist style intro effects using After Effects. So we have our After Effects open. So let us create a new comp. You can see these settings. So go ahead with those. Okay, for those who can't see these, let me just say the composition name that I'm going to give it is animation. Then preset custom. Width 1440 pixels by 900 pixels. As a log the aspect ratio square pixels 25 frames per second, resolution full, and duration, let's make the duration of 10 seconds. That's more than enough. So you will get this black thing. It shows that it's a comp and its size is as you gave in the options. So now let's we have already sliced the layers in the Photoshop. That's in the part 1 of this tutorial. So for those who haven't watched it, go back and watch it. Now let us import that slice pick layer into After Effects. I just dragged and dropped. So now this appears as a single PSD file, and it won't be useful for animating because everything is in a single file. You can't animate it. Now let's right click on it, replace the footage with layered comp. What it does is it separates out every layer into a separate PSD file. So now you can animate those each and every file separately. This every one of these layers is present in this sliced pick composition. Let us drag that in and double click to open that. Let's go back to the animation composition. Now you can see that this is slice pick composition is really big, and since it's 3258 by 2439, we'll just resize it. I'm holding shift, by the way, shift. Okay, click shift and drag that, resizes it among, it scales it down along X and Y by the same amount, so that your image won't get distorted. Let's open up the slice pick layer. So let's just go through it again. Background. Okay, let's turn everything off. This is the sky. I'm just gonna lock that layer. Foreground 2, foreground 3, mid left, trees, mid center 2, mid center 1, mid center 2, mid right, main building, back right. Right. Since we have all those files, let's start with the animation. The foreground. What we're gonna do is select all these layers except the sky. Now hit P for position. You'll get the position clock open. Click on this clock. What you're doing is you're just keyframing the position of these layers. As you click that, you get all these keyframes here. Let's just move them to say 6-second mark. Now select the deselect everything, go to foreground 1, and let's just say if the foreground 1, this is the foreground 1, and we'll just pull it back. What this does is you're just pulling it back at this 0 timeline. You're making it, getting it out of the screen. Similar with the foreground 2, let's say I'll get this to the side over here. Foreground 3, I'll move it this way. Mid left here, trees somewhere up above here. Mid center 1 to say here, mid center 2 to here, mid right, just move it up. Main building, we'll just move it down so that it looks good, because it's the main building in the screen, in the scene. So I'll just say that it looks good. Trust me, it looks good. Bringing it down, and then we have the back right building. Usually don't care where it goes. Let's just say there it goes. Okay, the main building, we'll just drop it down a little more so that it's just out of the screen. Now what we do is we'll just go to the 1 second mark. As you can see, now these things are moving into the screen and they fit at this 6 second mark, because at the 6 second mark we're saying that all of those picks, all of those layers should be at their positions at this time, and at the 0 second will there are these positions. That's what these keyframes are. So now let's go to the 1 second mark, and we'll move this keyframe in. So exactly at 1 second, this one is going to come into the screen and stick to its original position. Then okay, let's move everything to 1 second. Okay, sorry, Control Z. Oops. Okay, that's hard. Got it. Selected all those keyframes, moving them to 1 second mark. Now, so in this 1 second, they're gonna come into their positions and stick there. So it doesn't really look good. Let's give them some kind of bounce so that it looks good. Let's start with the foreground here. Switching every other layer off so that we'll see only this foreground and not the other layers. So the foreground, let's select the foreground, and let's say just give it a kind of a bouncy value. How we're gonna do this is at 1 second it's gonna come and stick to its original position. So let's move back. Let's say I'm hitting page up here, page up to move the slider back a few frames. Okay, now let's just take this beyond its original position, then bring it back a bit. And okay, see, that's bouncing. We'll just do the same thing for every other layer. Okay, few seconds back, hide this one and show this one. Hiding this one and showing the next one. Okay, let's move it beyond its original position. Make sure you're doing it correctly. If you're confused, you just zoom in there. It's better that way. So this position again. Okay, hide this one and show the next one, the middle left. Just dragging it some more over here, and since it's going over there, nice. That looks good. Okay, let's go to the next one. Trees. Next, the mid-center one. Drag it here. Okay, mid-center 2. Okay, mid-right. Let's go to the next one. Main building. It's coming from below. So let's just give it only a small amount of bounce. The back right. And by the way, this is the keyframe. This is the next keyframe. That is this one. So it's kind of a visual pointer for you to place it, so that you know where its final position is. It helps you in animating those layers according to your wish. I don't want it to bounce that much, so that's it. Let's switch every layer on. Okay, everything is visible. Let's just see how far we have done it, how good it is. Okay, it just looks like a bunch of flies coming in. Doesn't really look good. What we need to do is we need to adjust these layers according to their positions. I mean, in the shot, in the actual photograph, depending on their depths, z depths, we need to arrange these. So whichever layer is in the bottom, it goes. It is like the behind layer. Bottommost is furthermost in the z depth. So the foreground is the first one. So let's just bring it up, bring it to the first position. Okay, then comes the foreground 2. We'll just turn off these positions. I mean, close them for now. Okay, foreground 3 is the next one. Mid left is the after that. Trees come after that. Mid center after the trees. Mid center 2 after 1. Mid right. Main building and back right. So now we can see kind of a better thing going on here, but still it doesn't look good if that everything comes in at the same time. Let's just offset these layers so that it looks better, selecting those and hitting U so that we can see all these. And by the way, these things taking 1 second to come up, so we can even shorten the time by moving this one, or just moving all these 3 here, or selecting the whole thing and alt and move, so that see the whole time of that will be compressing, not but we'll just move it over here. This one also, let's just move it here. Let's see, move everything over there for the same thing. Okay, that's good. Now let's just offset these layers a bit according to what to which ones that we need to come up first. We'll make the foreground 1 come first. Okay, that's there. Then comes the foreground 2, then the foreground 3, then foreground 4, I mean mid left, then trees, mid center 1, mid center 2, mid right, main building. Let's keep the main building for the last. Back right over here. Okay, that's it. Now let us see that again. Okay, the main building has too much of a bounce thing. Let's just decrease it. Delete this keyframe, and it's coming up there, right? So this position, just move it a bit up, not too much, so that it doesn't go out too far. If it goes out too far, it doesn't look good, really. You can play with those values and till you get the good effect, till you get a good effect, good looking effect. Well, that's that for it. Okay, let's just close these up, and let's see what we have here. Swish, 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 swish. Good, nice. Now let's go to the animation. We can even you know, put in some audio for those swishes or beats, like a drum beats, so that it adds to your effect. So that's that. You can even color correct these on, or let me show you something else. New, go to solid, black solid. Okay, well, like just applying a vignette here. Go to the ellipse tool, shift, control shift here. Okay, just control it, control click and move this so that you get an ellipse, and convert this to subtract. Going to the mask expansion, that just moves in or out. Mask feather, and let's decrease this thing's opacity. T for opacity. Vignette always makes your comp look good. See, really good, isn't it? That's that. So thank you for watching. Goodbye. I'm Saifan in the Red DJ, and this is my channel.